I think for the everyday PoE player, Act 1 and 2 is basically going to do this. Imagine if this is your butthole. Let's go over the new Ascendancy leaks, yeah? And we'll talk about why they're good and why they're not good. Okay, let's see. Deadeye Ascendancy modifiers, 30% chance if you gain frenzy charges, you would gain up to the maximum number. Like, okay, isn't there a notable for power charges that does the same fucking thing? Are frenzy charges so valuable in this game that they made it an ascendancy node instead of a node? I'm pretty sure there's an endurance charge node that does the same thing. Do you think there's actually a frenzy node that stacks with this, so it's going to be 50% chance to get frenzy charges to max? Because that would be kind of insane. If a frenzy charge node exists, this freaking ascendancy skill is actually really good. Called shots, you can apply an additional mark. So I just found this out recently. The PoE 2 curse limit, marks and hexes are separate. So you get one mark and one hex at the start of the game. So it makes skills like Chiula, like the Chiula thing that applies hexes and marks very, very good. So now I get to put the extra like the shocking mark on my Chiula when I freaking like curse everything. And I think it's very good. Anyways, kind of okay. I'm not sure about this yet. I know frenzy charges are very, very valuable. And a 30% chance to gain, like, if you have 7 frenzy charges and you're doing a 7 frenzy charge rain of arrow, would give you a lot higher chance to proc sniper's mark to give you the frenzy charge back. And with that many hits, like maybe cast on crit is like okay, because you would just crit that many times anyways. So you have a manual sniper's mark and a crit sniper's mark, and you can just constantly gain frenzy charges with rain of arrows. Maybe that's okay, but yeah. I mean, with that many arrows, you're due to crit, right? Even with like 15%, 20% crit chance. I think it's okay. And like a 7 frenzy like rain of arrows is like a crazy amount of freaking damage too. Or a crazy amount of freaking arrows. Or like a 7 frenzy barrage for whichever big bow skill that you're gonna do is kind of nuts too. You have no accuracy. This is old. We don't exactly know what this does. What we think is that you need a certain amount of accuracy for melee skills, and then you need more at ranged, and this makes you not miss at range. So you only need the same amount of accuracy as melee characters, and you'll just never miss once you get that accuracy. And I think that accuracy thing for melee characters is not super, super high. That's what I'm guessing. Additional proj, obviously, very, very good. Like, probably one of the best nodes in the game still. Get Tailwind on use. We don't know how many Tailwind stacks. 4 shot. Okay, so this is, we thought it was maybe like chain or pierce, but it's not. It's far shot and point blank. Far shot projectiles deal damage the further they travel, up to 20% to hits the target. Okay, so we don't know what the distance is. I'm guessing it's gonna be really close to PoE 1 numbers, which is like 60 for max damage, and the 20% for point blank is going to be the same as PoE numbers within 2 meters, which is still like, both of these are really good for grenades. They're actually better than what you can expect. So now you get the additional proj, which is probably is without MP is 50% more damage. Ooh, right? So and then you get another 20% more damage node as a prerequisite. That's a lot of damage for grenades. It's absolute insanity. Benefits from consuming frenzy charges for your skills to have a 50% chance to be doubled. Wow. 14 frenzy barrage? Okay. Hear me out. So sniper's mark gains a frenzy on crit, right? And the other one, feeding frenzy? Where's feeding frenzy? Oh, that's a spirit gem. Feeding frenzy, or combat frenzy, not feeding frenzy. Gains a frenzy charge when you freeze, electrocute, or pin an enemy. Okay. And barrage has a 5-second duration that can be increased with more duration. If you get max frenzies, let's say it's 7, and you pin an enemy not using a bow skill within the 7 seconds, and you proc max frenzies, and then you double that when you fire rain of arrows, isn't that gonna one-shot like every boss in the game? You're firing like 15,000 arrows into a boss. Yeah, it's shotguns. A 14 arrow barrage, like that means it's 15 barrages with rain of arrows if both of them proc. So 53 arrows. So it's 100% more frenzies are consumed times 14 frenzy charges. So 50 times 14. That's 7,115 arrows times, say 20% of the arrows hit times 163 attack damage. Yeah, that's death for anything in the game. I don't care. You're one-shotting a Uber boss. It's like your Marauder fucking doing Earthquake like 1,000 times. And I'm pretty sure if you hit any boss 1,000 times with Earthquake, it's gonna fucking die. This is also really, really good if you're doing Barrage with Pustules for poison. These nodes are crazy. These nodes are really good. I like them. Just don't get hit. This makes Deadeye tankier than most melee builds. You understand that, right? You understand that, right? Let's say there's 10 Tailwind stacks, which I think it's gonna be 10 Tailwind stacks, or 8, right? Let's just say it's 10. And it's you get 2% movement speed per Tailwind stack, and you get 3% less damage per Tailwind. When you play crossbows, you have stuff like Rapid Shot that has 550 attack speed a base. That means you hold this thing down for 1 second, you have maximum stacks on crossbows. So if you're just holding down this button and the boss is hitting you slower than once a second, you're getting 30% damage reduction on every hit. Deadeye's looking kind of strong, boys. I think Deadeye crossbows is an extremely good build. Merc is definitely better. Yeah, if you fail to graduate high school, Merc is definitely better. Wait, we didn't, PoE DB went out. We didn't even cover Pathfinder. TLDR for Pathfinder. Okay, so Contagious Contamination. Most damaging poison on your enemy spread to an enemy within 1.5 meters. I don't think this is like really that great because number one, it's only your most damaging poison. So it's only one. And when you're playing Pathfinder, like poison, you're trying to get multiple poisons on things, right? With really fast hits. So if you're playing a build like Pustules or something or Toxic Growth or something, it's a bunch of like smaller poisons instead of like singular big poison. So and if you're using a big poison hit, you have that support that stores the poison on a target and makes them explode. I'm sure this is like okay, but I don't think it's like really that great. This is definitely something you can build around. Double the number of poisons you can inflict, 35% less poison duration. You definitely need like poison duration like all the way across the board when you do this because all the stuff that gives you extra poison stacks, they all have like reduced duration or reduced effect or something. Poison's only 2 seconds at start, so that really depends on the passive tree to see if it has enough solutions for increased poison duration for you to use this. 30% less movement penalty while using a skill while moving. This is pretty much a support gem, except for you get it on all your skills. It looks okay for an Ascendancy point. We don't know what any of the concoctions do. So it shows you that you can pick one of the concoctions that you can throw. The bleed, poison, shock, cold, and fire, right? Immune to slows. Holy man, this Ascendancy looks so bad compared to Deadeye. Your speed is unaffected by slows? Immune... Oh, okay, it's the same node. They just typed it in twice. I was like, what is this? Okay, flash charges gain are doubled? I guess that might be okay if you're playing like concoctions. But I don't know how much freaking charges you can gain on your tree for bosses. Life flash effects are not removed when unreserved life is filled. Life flasks do not queue. So this is overleach for flasks, like how it was in PoE 1. It looks okay. Like this node is strong in PoE 1, so I'm pretty sure it's strong in PoE 2. 5 passive points. It's like okay. I definitely don't think this Ascendancy is on the level. Like this Ascendancy is kind of crazy, dude. This is like an insane Ascendancy, and this is like fucking Witch Hunter Jr. I would say. I think Deadeye is the best Ascendancy in the game. It's gonna do this to you.